Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Donny Gilman joins us. He's now a candidate for Storey County Commission. Here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
Carson Valley, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're delighted to welcome back to the program Donny Gilman. Now you are, sir, a candidate for Storey County Commission. Your dad is going to end his term. He'll be termed out at the end of the year. You're running for the seat. The question is why?
You know, Sam, I feel like I want to pick up where my dad left off and maybe put my own spin on some things that I think the county could benefit from.
All right, so let's start. For people that are not aware, tell us what Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, which your father and Roger Norman were the leaders of, did for Storey County, where Storey County was at the beginning, where it is now. So when you talk about continuing.
Yeah, so when they started, Storey County was almost dead broke. You know, I think their yearly budget was under $3 million, and they were
for a huge county.
Yeah, and they were being looked at to be split up between two other counties, and so now fast forward 20 years with the monies that are coming in from the businesses, tax revenue, they have the potential to be one of the richest counties in our state.
Well, and I mean what happened at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center is something that I think that any county in the world would want, which is where you go from being essentially bankrupt to being the place where every high-tech firm in the world either is or wants to be.
Yeah, and I credit that to the leadership of Storey County, and I credit that to the people who stepped up and agreed to the development agreement for Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. And, there's been a lot of people in the state that have helped get us to where we are. But really it's the leadership and it's the small government that Storey County has that made that possible.
And, the force, you have to look back over decades to look at various places where counties made decisions that were so impactful down the road that they may not even have realized at the time were so impactful. They were just looking for an option.
Sure.
And suddenly these things turned in. Because I had heard about Azamara Ranch years before Roger bought the property. People had come to my house with maps and plans of the area and said, you know, it's right on I-80. There's railroad lines right there. This could be a great place for development. But at one point, it was like a safari park, right?
Yeah, that's the story that I've heard over the years, and it was owned by a oil company.
Right, right.
And they were trying to make a hunting preserve. They were going to bring in African animals. They were going to fence off the whole 107,000 acres, and they were going to put a hunting club together and resort type deal. And the story is that the shareholders found out about it and had a big issue with it, and so they had to sell the property as fast as possible to get the money back into the company. So pretty interesting. And that's when Roger and Lance were there. A lot of people were looking at the Azamara Ranch at the time, but they wanted, 1 and 2 year due diligence periods and things like that. And Lance and Roger, being who they are, and not afraid to gamble on something, they went in for full cash, 30-day close. And even though it was probably the least amount that was offered, it was the fastest close, and so the oil company took it.
Well, and when you say gamble, I mean, it wasn't like they were a couple of stooges. I mean, they had just completed South Meadows, which is, if you come to Reno, that's going south on 395, that's what you're going to hit. And it's a highly successful development.
Sure.
So they had just come off of that, and of course they had had experience in other areas in northern Nevada, plus down in the San Diego area. So they were pretty savvy, and it wasn't a huge amount of money to get in. But like most things, it's not how much it costs to buy; it's how much it costs to put in the infrastructure.
Sure. And there's hundreds of millions of dollars that they've put into infrastructure out there.
Repeat that.
Hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And I think the gamble, when I say gamble, is typically in a deal like this, you're going to do very long due diligence, make sure there's no mining issues, make sure there's no
well, it's everything: water, power, sewer.
I mean, there's so many issues that can come up in a deal like this, especially on 107,000 acres of property. And so that's the gamble. The gamble is not knowing exactly what other issues are on those properties. And so, again, you look at Gooseberry Mine as one of the issues that was out there. And so they don't own that. It's owned by the BLM. A lot of issues in the Gooseberry Mine.
The other part of that is that, when I've quoted this on the show before, Roger was quoted in the Las Vegas Review-Journal in 1998 saying that he would not live long enough to see this project completed. And
Sure.
I am happy to say that he is happy and healthy. And as far as, his portion of it, it was completed, which is an incredible thing to have had something this huge be done in that period of time.
Agreed.
Now the home of Tesla, Google, Switch. Now your new company that you just brought in, you closed the largest land deal that's ever been done in the state, correct?
Yeah, monetarily for raw land, yes, I believe that was true at the time.
Okay, so what do you see? I mean, obviously a term on the county commission would be 4 years, but the potential is to be as long as 12 years. Looking out there and with your experience with TRI so far, what do you see in the future?
So, TRI is pretty much sold out. It's not built out, but it's sold out. I think that's the key for me, especially being a commissioner. I want to make sure that it stays with the vision that was created in the first place. And so sitting in that seat, I think, helps with that. When I say that, in the development agreement, we have 7-day grading permits, 30-day building permits.
Which is unheard of.
It's unheard of anywhere. And I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of that, because if we do in our county, then it'll stop the growth for the county, which will stop growth for our residents and the tax dollars that are going to come in. And there's a lot of communities that need those tax dollars to come in. And I want to make sure that we're watching this, watching the growth, and making sure the infrastructure goes in for and to the residents of Storey County. And so being in that seat, I think will help that.
You know, one of the interesting things in terms of time is that for all the infrastructure that was put in, with the growth of the park in terms of employees and companies, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be improved now at this point. So what kind of things would you be looking at as priorities, either being done by the county or with the state's help?
Well, so there's certain areas that our county can't get involved in now. USA Parkway doesn't belong to the county anymore; it belongs to the state. So I mean, there's things the state is going to have to do for infrastructure on that aspect. I think what I would be concentrating more on is like Lockwood area needs a lot of infrastructure.
And that's right on the river.
That's right on the river. The residents would love to have a secondary access if there's an accident on I-80 and there's a medical issue. There's an issue getting into town to the hospital, and so they would like to see some kind of secondary access that they could use. That's something we should look at for them. Now there's flooding issues that come down through Lockwood. You have some of the same issues over in Mark Twain. Mark Twain has major flooding issues. And they need a lot of culverts and they need a lot of drainage work over there. That's a huge issue for that community. So seeing infrastructure go in to help them. The senior centers and community centers in each of those areas, very, very important. There's a lot of retirees over there, and they could use some of those things. Virginia City needs a lot of infrastructure. I mean, their plumbing, their sewer, their water lines, 100 years old. Some of the buildings that are tilted over, they need money to be able to prop those back up. It's a historical site in Nevada. I mean, it really could use more money to go into those things. And then you have the Highlands, which I don't know if you've heard, but a lot of wells are going dry.
Right.
And so there's a possibility to extend some infrastructure to them to get them water. And there's water rights that come out of Marlette Lake. And it's a huge undertaking, probably 180 to $200 million to get water up there. But if we can continue this tax flow to come into Storey County from the business park, I think we can accomplish some of those things, if not all.
And the Marlette Lake deal goes back to the Comstock mining era.
It does.
Because the water actually flows down and then flows back up,
Correct.
which is a remarkable engineering feat, to say the least.
It sure is.
And the Virginia City Highlands is one of the housing areas that is already developed.
It is.
Do you see that increasing in density over time?
I do. There's a lot of areas out there, 40-acre sites, 10-acre sites, 1-acre sites that are still could be developed out there, but they need the water to be able to do that.
Okay, and there is the ability to draw more water from Marlette Lake?
I think it's a possibility. I'd like to be in the seat to see if I can make that happen, or at least encourage it.
A lot of the things, to me as an outsider, and I should point out, and I do on the show all the time, that I've been involved in one way or another with Storey County, Virginia City, for pretty close to 40 years now. So, you know, in a way I have a dog in the fight here,
sure.
In terms of being supportive. But it seems to me that, you know, infrastructure is going to be a really big deal in terms of increasing it to be at a match. Because, you know, once you got discovered, once Tesla hit the market,
sure.
and now it's years later, and it's still going with that Tesla effect. You need more energy. You're going to end up needing more sewage. You're helping out Reno Sparks by taking their gray water from the Truckee River. They don't have to expand their sewage treatment plant because of this moment, because of what Storey County is doing. What other kinds of infrastructure improvements do you think are going to be needed over the next 12 years?
It depends on where the growth happens, and when I say that, I'm talking about some of the BLM property that the state is trying to get so that we can build more homes. If you have the east-west connector that they're talking about, I mean, there's potential to have more homes on the Reno side.
This is the one that goes into Sparks?
No, that one is the La Posada extension.
Okay.
And again, if you have the La Posada extension, there's also ability to have homes built in that area all the way over the hill, even down into the valley, getting close to TRI.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll come back, because that's been one of the issues that's been raised is, lack of housing in Storey County. Let's address it when we come back after this timeout.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you, because trucks move America forward.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, continuing the tradition of a Gilman being on the Storey County Commission, Donny Gilman, son of Lance Gilman, is running as a candidate for the Storey County Commission. So you're talking about housing. That has been a complaint by some of the local jurisdictions that there's not enough housing in Storey County, and the housing is being pushed everywhere else. Now, I know the argument on the other side. Chris Thompson was here just a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about, the tax revenues that come from the sales tax and everything else that's purchased in all these other areas, that they are not doing badly because of all that money coming in. But what are you potentially looking at in terms of developing housing in these areas?
I think there's a point I'd like to make first before we go into the housing, and that is that we need to come together as Northern Nevada community and work on this together. It needs to stop being about your district and my district, and it needs to stop being about your county and my county. We all need to sit down and talk about this, because there is benefits of Tahoe Reno Industrial Center and those employees spending their money in those areas, in those communities. But they wouldn't have the growth potential that they have, and the new restaurants and the new shopping malls and the new things, if they didn't have those people, relocating here to Northern Nevada. So I think that a collaboration needs to happen, a conversation needs to happen. There's not a lot of areas to build in Storey County. In fact, one of the best areas that they could have built some housing in, Storey County donated to Washoe County to become the new dump. We get all the trash from Reno and Sparks. That all comes out there. That could have been great housing property. It's not anymore. There is one area which is Painted Rock, and there are some developers looking at Painted Rock, and that's 2,700 homes. I know that's not huge, but it is something to look at.
Well, the housing right now is about 4,000 homes?
About 4,000 homes.
Yeah, so 2,700 is
well, for Storey County it's huge, but for the area it's not. It's not huge. but it's something to give back and to help. I see a lot of housing growth in Sparks, again, especially if you can get the lands bill passed and you can get the La Posada road put through, connector. And again, if we get to an east-west connector, the east-west connector comes out of South Reno, comes up over the mountain, and then goes into Storey County. A lot of the potential for growth over there for the housing. So all of it comes down to infrastructure, Sam. Like, who wants to put the money up for the infrastructure? And again, I think there's a way for us to collaborate and work together as Northern Nevada community to put those things together.
Okay, so that east-west connector, would that be an RTC project?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure exactly. I believe it would be RTC that would take that on. I do know that there's talk about other companies maybe potentially helping fund some of those connectors. I don't know what that looks like, and I can't name who, but it's out there in the ether.
Well, you know, it's interesting because, you know, public-private partnerships are becoming more and more of a conversation, and it's interesting with the size of the companies, multi-billion-dollar companies, in fact, close to trillion-dollar companies, are coming to Northern Nevada, and you know, they do have the ability, if it makes sense for them, to be able to help fund roads.
Sure.
Because, you know, where there's no RTC connection to move people around TRI to the neighboring communities, these companies, you know, like Tesla, have organized their own minivans, you know, with their own employees to be able to move people around, to be able to cut back on traffic. But it sounds like an east-west connector would do a lot to relieve pressure on I-80, which is a concern to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think if you add some of these connectors in, I mean, you almost would have, you know, McCarran is a big ring road. If we built some of these connectors that we're talking about, you'd almost have a secondary McCarran, and it would be a big ring road that goes from South Reno through TRI over to Sparks and back down into Reno. And so I think there's a huge benefit for something like that.
You know, that is very visionary, because I have said many times, both privately and publicly, that the courage of the commissioners back in the day, because people did not want the McCarran, which is, you know, equivalent of the 215 in Vegas, they did not want McCarran to be completed. They wanted to stop it in West Reno. And if that had happened, Reno would be in so much trouble right now. You wouldn't be able to get anywhere. So the idea of a secondary ring road, you're the first person that I'm aware of that's talked about that. That would be incredible. Let's take one more quick break and we'll be right back.
Storey County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Storey County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Storey County is leading Nevada's future.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Turn your clunker into a caddy during the Cadillac and Cash giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Weekly cash drawings including $5,000 cash and one top prize of $10,000. Win the grand prize of a Cadillac CT4 or $40,000 in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Donny Gilman. He's running for the Storey County Commission to take over the seat of his father, Lance Gilman, who is going to be termed out at the end of this year. So what would you think that your legacy will be if you are able to take this seat? What do you want to accomplish by the end of at least the first term, if not further terms?
I want to protect the county. I want to protect the county from the state trying to come in and take the tax dollars.
These are the abated taxes.
The abated tax dollars. I want to protect the county, and make sure that the tax dollars that come in go to the right areas, go to the infrastructure, go back to the people. And I want to make sure that the residents are fully aware of where those tax dollars are going. Transparency, I think, is key. And I think if I can accomplish those three things in my term, whether that be 4 year or 12, that'll do exactly what I want it to.
And that's where we got to leave it. Donny Gilman, thank you so much for being here. Good luck on the good luck on the campaign trail, if I can get the words out. And I'm sure we'll see you back here before the election.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And we'll be right back.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Calamity. It lurks around every corner. Or not. That's why UMC Quick Care is around every corner, with locations around the valley. UMC Quick Care, for all your small calamities.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can catch us online 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, or you can download the podcast wherever you like to get your podcast. We'll see you on the next broadcast.